Hey guys, Ryan Bidoff here, blogging from paradise. A little later in the day, I had a fun chat with my friend David Boozer a while ago, and some of his friends, fellow entrepreneurs. So I wanted to get into an idea. Hold on a second, coffee break, midday coffee. That is important to explore, blogging wise and life wise. I'm still here. It's a little bit coffee for us folks and from originally from Northern New Jersey. Even I've been around the globe, I realized the accent has followed me all around the world. And that concept is doing your own thinking, blogging wise, and really life wise. Sometimes it becomes painfully uncomfortable to do your own thinking because you may be accustomed to allowing other people to think for you, or, hey, Joseph, more critically to look at somebody else's thinking and their line of thinking and just mindlessly accepting it. So they're doing your thinking and you're not doing your own thinking. This is really uncomfortable, guys, because if you do somebody else's thinking, like if you're not thinking for yourself, you're not doing your own thinking, and you just accept what, say, a blogger teaches you without running it through your intuitive filters and thinking it through. Does it feel fun to you? Does it feel good to you? Does it feel freeing to you? And this is just on the blogging side of things, as far as mentoring or other bloggers out there, even if you're making the mistake of following the advice of struggling bloggers, because they're thinking from some predominant fear. And since you have the fear in your mind too, and you're not doing your own thinking, you think, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So of course it makes sense because you're not really thinking things through, and there's that subconscious fear. And say if a struggling blogger who thinks that spamming makes sense, dropping 50 spam comments on blogs today, and they think that makes sense because of their fears and their just lack of what really works blogging wise. If you're not doing your thinking, your own thinking, and you're not processing, thinking this through, you'll say, okay, they're thinking it, they're doing it. Sounds like a good idea. And then you'll start spamming. And it's the proverbial blind leading the blind, or the people who are not thinking, who are following those who are not thinking. Or on a different level, when you're talking about mentoring or coaching, you have these blogging coaches that they could be offering solid blogging advice, but it simply may not be for you in terms of resonance. It's not something that vibes with you. You just know that it's intuitively deep down that your blogging success may unfold through another channel. But if you don't think for yourself, if you aren't doing your own thinking, they'll say something, you mindlessly trust them. So in essence, you're doing their thinking, and then you run into struggles because that strategy really doesn't resonate with you. It doesn't work with you. You robotically parrot back their advice. So your blog becomes almost an extension of their blog. You don't have your authentic voice. You don't have your blog, your brand. You're not standing out. And you'll find that you'll be struggling horribly with your blog, because when you try to be like other people, because you're not doing your own thinking, and you're trying to fit in and sound like a certain mentor, just mindlessly follow their advice, that people that maybe considered following your blog will just go to the mentor who you're trying to sound like, who you're parroting. So you have to do your own thinking, guys, blogging wise. You have to run everything through your own intuitive filter, or else you will struggle, fail, and quit. Now that's for blogging. Taking it up a couple notches, life-wise. Are you doing your own thinking? Are you thinking everything through with your own mind? Are you listening to your intuition? Or do you just mindlessly accept somebody else's thoughts, their line of thinking? Want a good example? Okay, brace yourself, guys. I don't follow it at all, but there's this thing called the news. You may be aware of it. Independent of the news source, the news channel, or the news medium, independent of the news agency, there is an individual all the way at the top. One person, maybe a family, all the way at the top. They run the show. They own everything. They have an opinion. What's your thoughts on what they view as, deem as newsworthy? So it's one family, one person's opinion, one person's thoughts, one person's thinking. It's just their thinking. What they say, oh, this should be the news. Or a family. And then that thought, that thinking, that opinion bleeds down through the whole matrix of the news agency. So when you're following the news, if you're really doing, or if you're following it or watching it or whatever, if you're really thinking on a deep, deep level, and I mean critically, where you're thinking your own thoughts, you begin to process the idea that the news is just one person's opinion that's filtered down. If you're not thinking, if you just trust them mindlessly, then you'll start living the life they want you to live. Same goes for politicians. The same goes for government. The same goes for virtually everything in the world. If you don't do your own thinking, if you do your own thinking, where you process, you deliberate, you really start thinking deeply, this whole, in life in general, what is this person's intent? What is this agency's intent? What is this government's intent? What is this politician's intent? Intent. Are these individuals doing this because they love me and they want to empower me and they want me to make me strong and healthy and rich, wealthy and well and peaceful and relaxed? Or like when you're really doing your own thinking and you're trying to vet someone's advice or just believe them if they're credible. And this is just across the board in life. Or if I'm doing my own thinking, maybe I start to process certain different realities from certain individuals or agencies. Maybe they're, they wouldn't. Maybe, I don't know. It's not too comfortable, but maybe they're using fear to manipulate me and other people. But I'll just focus on me now. Maybe they're attempting to use fear to manipulate me into doing something from fear for their own control, power, and selfish interests. Maybe. When you do your own thinking, it's easy to see this. It's uncomfortable because there's certain trust structures where you trusted because in the past you didn't do your own thinking. Like most human beings, they don't think, because not only is it exhaustive, it's actually very uncomfortable because you get to dig deeper into your mind and you get to see predominantly, largely, how much of humanity, and probably yourself included like me, we trusted individuals without questioning, without assessing their intent, without really drilling down and saying, oh, shoot, now that feels uncomfortable. Thanks, Abid. They really weren't looking out for me. They said they were, they claimed they were, but they weren't empowering me. They weren't helping me to become rich, helping me become free. They weren't helping me become peaceful. They were just helping me. They were not helping me. They were scaring me into trying to, hey, what's up, bro? Good evening. All good over here. They were trying to use and manipulate for their own interests, even if they said they were doing something to be helpful and to keep people safe and to be, well, you know, they just wanted you to be safe and they wanted you to be careful. I'm going to keep you secure. Now, guys, this video, 100% when it comes to doing your own thinking, take politics out of it. There is no political. I don't follow any of that stuff. I don't follow government. I really have nothing to do with that world. This will literally show you that largely the world is. Are you talking to me now? I have to call you. I'm right here, bro. I'm just joking. You'll find that if you're willing to, just so you know, Abid, and this is sometimes I don't do the chats, but just a lot of people every day tell me to call them, but I don't call anybody. So leave whatever you have to say in text, and if it's something that not here through my DMs, if you do it here, I'll have to block you because we want to keep it on topic. You have to talk about the topic of the video, not yourself, okay? Not what you want. That's another important thing, guys. I've been blocking a lot of folks on Facebook because when I create a video, it's to remain entirely on topic. So every comment you leave, guys, I know a lot of folks are learning, it has to do with the topic of the video. It isn't call me because that's what you want. That's your desire. It's about you. And the second you take your attention, energy, Abid, and everybody else out there who's making this mistake from the topic of the video to you and what you want me to do for you, I'll let this slide, bro, but I just have to block everybody. And it's nothing to do with people. I love all you guys. As human beings, I love you. Blocking just means I'm hanging up on you. Awesome, man. Get a good night's sleep, and we'll see what's going on. Definitely leave me a message, bro. And if I read it and I can help you, I'll respond. And if I don't respond within a day or 2 days, then I can't help you. So that's okay. And that's another thing too, guys. Like if I don't respond to your messages, I've read them, but I can't help you. So when you don't get the response, say Ryan can't help. So I'll ask somebody else or I'll do something else. But I've been blocking a lot of folks because they keep saying, help me, give me money, do this for me, give me money for the orphanage or for my starving family. And I have compassion, but I can only help so many people. The way to really get over your problems, guys, is to face the fears in your mind. And also, too, if I can't help you, there's 7 billion more humans out there. So I just wanted to share because I get so much. And have a good night's sleep, Abid. I want to be honest with you guys. You get help not by putting the attention on you, but by helping other people. See, me, I've been helping people for a very long time, even through difficult times. So now whenever I turn to people, number one, they're helping me organically. But number two, when I ask my friends, because I've helped them so much over the years and I've just been such a good friend that when I ask for help, they fly right to me like, let me help you. But it's because I built friendships. It's really important, guys. And I see so many folks around the globe struggling. I get a lot of messages every day. Help me with money. Help me with this. Help me with that. The reason why these folks are in difficult circumstances is because they're not helping anybody. And they think they're helping a small group of people, but they're not building friendships. They're not being generous. So then when you need the help and you haven't really built your friend network and you're trying to do it on your own, and I know it's scary, there'll be no help there. And then you find yourself asking strangers for help. And strangers are going to say, I don't know this person. I don't trust them. I've had so many people in my friend network. So guys, be really helpful and keep making friends by serving people. Then when you need the help, they'll come to you organically without you asking them, number one. And number two, when you ask, they'll fly in and they'll give you money and do this and do that. But there's only a small group of people that actually have a pretty large friend network that have built a strong relationship with me. One of which just liked the video. Thanks, David. So here's the thing, guys. I love you. I really do. As human beings, I really love and respect you guys. But whenever I block anybody, it's just like hanging up. And I don't like doing it. But it's like getting a spam phone call, right? Telemarketers back in the day, back when I was a kid, and you see it and you go block. You go block that number. Or like now when you get spam texts, block. That's what I do with social media. Not because I have a problem with you. Love you guys. I don't feel comfortable doing it, but I have to do it to hang up on you because everybody's here. They want to talk about the video topic. And in my inbox, I have people that want to talk about blogging and Messenger. So when people keep saying, send me money, I have to block you. Not you individually. I have to block your profile. I have to hang up on you. And it's a shame because down the road, there's potential for all types of help. But little aside, guys, it was important for me to go into it because I get a lot of messages every day. And I think a lot of folks are just lost. They're like, oh, here's this guy I don't know. Let me ask him for whatever. And it's like, you got to earn my trust. You have to do it. It's all about friendships. Help people and God, spirit, whoever, a lot. It does. It's just this Jesus, this force will help you through other humans organically when you get lost in helping other people. So even if you're having problems, I know it's tough. I've been there. Keep helping people, help more people, help more people, help more people. And wherever you're having problems, humans will come towards you and gravitate towards you and solve it through God. But don't look to one person. I am not your guru. I'm not your savior. I'm just a guy. Helpful in a lot of ways, but so very important, guys. Anyway, though, do your own thinking, guys. It's so important, blogging wise and life wise, to think for yourself, because if not, you'll find that there's a lot of people out there through their own fear, and it's fear in their mind, that try to manipulate and change and control. And if you trust these people implicitly and trust their line of thinking, then you'll be unhappy, because they will appear to manipulate you and control you and use fear to separate and divide. And that's just how the world is largely built if you don't do your own thinking. But if you think for yourself, and it is a practice, it's a skill, then you'll be happiest, you'll be the most free, you'll live with love, you'll be truly helpful. And then even if there's all this chaos going on in the world that appears to be unfolding, and we know we've seen it, and we think we've definitely seen it. And trust me, guys, when you're really a thinker, you would have noticed chaos going on before early 2020, because it's been like this for a while. The matrix has been in place for quite a while. And that's okay, because the people running that and the beings running that, they're doing things from fear. The more you think for yourself, you'll be in the world, but not of it. So you'll kind of be free of it. So you'll be like, okay, that stuff's going on, but I'm going to do my own thing and help people and follow my dreams. And eventually, the more people that keep thinking for themselves, then that whole power structure is just going to dissolve entirely, sooner than later, believe it or not. I don't know if in my human lifetime, but it will, because we're all realizing now, the more we're thinking freely for ourselves, humanity, all of us can help each other, like everyone. And eventually the people that are really resisting, that want to keep it the way it is, they'll vanish and fade away. Or they'll be like, oh, I guess I have to be helpful and level things off now, and just we could all help each other and prosper and thrive. But you have to do your own thinking, guys, because if not, you will live someone else's life. Now, there's many applications for this. I talk about blogging. I talk a little about the matrix in terms of like politics and government and big pharma. I mean, you can go across the board. Military industrial complex. There's deep agendas here, and it's based in fear. It's not based on love. If it was love, it would all dissolve. We're all infinitely powerful. You guys know this, right? I mean, the deeper you get in your mind, if you do your own thinking, and we could all work together. It could all be very easy, actually, but you gotta really do your own thinking. But on a more micro level, if you will, think about most families. When kids growing up aren't really aware largely that they could do their own thinking, maybe there's a little bit of an independent streak, but they just start thinking as their parents think, because they didn't realize that they could reject thoughts but not accept thoughts and do their own thinking. And you just have generations and generations of people coffee that are living on autopilot. They're not thinking for themselves. They're not doing their own thinking. They're just thinking what their parents thought, or they're doing what their parents told them to do, and they believe in that, and they think like their parents, but they feel really depressed, and they feel really upset, and they feel hopeless and lost, and they might be working a dead-end job, and then they say, oh, shoot. The reason I'm working a dead-end job that depresses me is because I didn't think about if I'd be passionate working this job, or if I would actually have fun doing it. But I grabbed the first job I could because I was terrified of running out of money and not having health benefits, because my parents told me again and again and again, just with your life now, what you do is you get a job and you pay bills. You get a job, you pay the bills. So you accepted that thought for decades. And then when you graduated college, in your mind, you're thinking just like your parents. I'll get a job and pay bills. That's what I'm going to do with my life. However, there's going to be a lot of depression and anger. If you see so many folks in soul sucking jobs, it's because they're doing, I mean, you could say what society as well, but in a lot of cases, a lot of parents just say, get a job and pay the bills. So you're thinking to yourself one day, well, I came across this Ryan guy's video, and he seems to live a pretty cool life, blogging in paradise, circling the globe for a decade. He said to do your own thinking, and that it's very possible that your parents condition you to think a certain way through no fault of their own. It's what they knew. We could only give what we have, right? And that's all your parents could give you because that's what they had mentally. So you start thinking, oh, shoot, doing my own thinking, I'm really depressed because I grabbed the job because I was terrified to go broke and lose health benefits and get sick and die. And you start thinking to yourself, do I really want to spend my life surviving and guaranteeing that I'll have health benefits if I get really sick? Is that a good way to spend 40 to 50 years? Do you think that's why? Nah, I don't think so. All these really happy people that are very powerful and successful and happy, they talk about following your passion and dreams, but that thinking, ooh, I'm trying to do my own thinking, that's very uncomfortable. Welcome to doing your own thinking. It is very uncomfortable. You're speaking to a man who has circled the globe for a decade as a professional blogger, and I am technically homeless. My wife and I are digital nomads by choice, not by necessity. We love this life. We go and do house sits and we rent places, and that's just for us. It doesn't mean you have to go that route, but think of all the thinking I had to release from the general public and my parents and my family. And my parents did an awesome job raising me in that they taught me one of the basic core tenets was be nice to people, be nice, but help people, respect people, meet people. So I had some of the basic tenets down, but obviously I had to change a lot of thinking in terms of money, shifting from the employee mindset to the entrepreneur mindset. So shifting from their thinking and the general public's or society's line of thinking to do my own thinking and start moving from survival mode to thriving mode, that felt very uncomfortable because I had to face a lot of fears. But it's the only way to be liberated. It's the only way to be happy, to figure out, okay, I want to do something that makes me happy. And not only that, that helps other people. And I don't want to live to survive. That's crazy, man. I'm not going to be here for 45 years. And on my tombstone, it's going to say he paid the bills. Are you kidding me? Is that, you want to spend 45 years, and then retire and spend 10, 15 years, maybe 20, like traveling and doing stuff. But at that point, it will be like in a 65 to 85-year-old body. Doesn't quite move like a fit, 46-year-old's body, or, when I started in my mid 30s or, yeah, but you got to do your own thinking to actually realize this. And thinking is a skill. It's an activity. And any skill or activity has to be practiced for it to expand. The activity getting stronger. Your mind's going to get stronger when you do your own thinking, when you strengthen your mindset. And you have to do it, guys. You can't not do it. You have to do your own thinking. It's the only way you'll be free, be happy, be at peace, because if not, you start living life on autopilot like most people. And most people are unhappy and kind of upset and depressed on some level because they're not doing their own thinking. They're living a life that is somebody else's thinking, a parent, a friend. So if you are willing to be, I'm starting to think now. I'm starting to see why I turned off the comments for a while. Getting a lot of, no, I was joking. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Ivan. Yeah. Oh, I see what you say, Ivan. Oh, I got you. Yeah. You know what? It's tough, Ivan, because I think a lot of folks, I know it's just the idea that I think for people, they don't, just in general, I know it's uncomfortable because social media is, it gives us easy access to people as far as like, okay, we get in touch with folks. But I think about something I read in A Course in Miracles, where the voice in A Course in Miracles, capital V, you guys may notice him when you read the book a lot and you're like, hey, I know that guy. He talks about it's like picking up a phone. You know, you could call someone on the phone, but for what purpose? Now, that's a good one, right? Are you calling someone to help them, to serve them with no selfish interests? Are you calling someone to uplift them? Are you calling someone from guilt, from fear? Are you calling someone to get something? This is very uncomfortable. Thank you so much, Ivan. I really appreciate that, brother. But you have to. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Replied. I was got a little confused. Really appreciate it, Ivan. Oh, thank you so much. And I think that's the thing. And Abid too. I know you're in bed, or if not, it's not about you personally. Like I don't. It's just rather than me. Sometimes I not even ignore, but I just move on. But I just want to help and teach in a public setting, and it's all good. I love all of you guys. Never take it the wrong way, but never do. It's never personal with me. Like I really care for you guys. I do. I love you. I appreciate you. It's just teaching everyone how you move up in circles so you leave your problems and your struggles behind. So when I share what I share, it's because I am compassionate. If I wasn't compassionate, I'd be like, oh, bump these guys. I don't care. And I do care. But again, remember when I use the block, guys, it's to hang up on you. It's not you. It's I have to hang up because we got to keep it on topic. And it's just, I really appreciate the love and the support from everybody. And it's very humbling. But it's also a certain level of responsibility and freedom. And again, tying it in, we're almost at a half hour and I have to roll, do a little cardio, do a little cardiovascular activity. It gets dark here at like 4:30 in the afternoon, so 4:45. So with daylight savings, daytime here is better overall. But I discovered a lot of these concepts and just these ideas and the life I'm living because I'm doing my own thinking. And you got to do your own thinking, guys. Blogging wise, life wise, think for yourself. When you think for yourself, not only will you gain confidence and clarity with the life you're choosing, but you'll be happiest. And you can make, hey, Lillian, you can make the most empowered decisions and boldest decisions. And you can help people the most when you're thinking for yourself. Now, you still may be thinking very different than a lot of people. You may be thinking similarly. Like that doesn't mean you're not going to be thinking somewhat similar to people, maybe quite differently in other ways, yet you'll have peace of mind because you realize that you're living your life. You know what I mean? You're living it. You're like, this is the life I want to live. I want to follow my passions and spread love, help people, be truly helpful. And whatever that is for you, it could be running a business, it could be running a blog, it could be working a job, it could be raising a family, raising kids, giving your life to ministry, whatever it is. Everybody's different. We all have different dreams. That's one of the basic human fundamentals. Even if some are similar, we have different experiences. But at least you know when you do your own thinking that you love this journey the way that it is. And you won't be living like a robot. You wouldn't be living mindlessly. Yeah, Ivan, I basically always do. Sometimes I don't reply only because some of these requests are a little, So I will say, I can't respond to everybody because I get a lot of messages, but I'll read everybody's request. I promise you I do. I do read everybody's. And you'll see that I read it. I click on it. And you'll see he read it, and then sometimes he can't reply because he's got a lot of people every day. He's got many hundreds of things to do every day. And I want to keep my life offline too. That's the reason why I can't respond to everybody. I want to give myself time to exercise and meditate and pray and read A Course in Miracles and walk the dog back there who's on the bed, which I do have to walk her. There you go. Oh, text. Yeah. So guys, I'm going to roll, keep it under a half hour. Much love, everybody. Feel free to share this video if you know it would empower anybody. Thank you so much, Ivan and David and Abid and everybody else who joined. Joseph. There we go. Much love all. Until next time, you know what to do. Enjoy paradise, guys.